Okay, in this video we're going to do some problems that involve adding and subtracting algebraic fractions. So here's question 1. We've got to simplify each of the following expressions. In this one we've got 4 over 7 plus 2 over 3. So the key with all of these is going to be to get the denominator to be the same. Okay, in order to get the denominator to be the same, we've got to find the lowest common denominator, which will actually be the lowest common multiple of both these numbers. Okay. I'll jump straight ahead to what this one is. The lowest common multiple is going to be 21 for both of these. Now how do we get that? Let's look at it. If we multiply 7 by 3 we get 21, and if we multiply 3 by 7 we get 21. That's one way to get to the lowest, it's one way to get to a common multiple, and it will often be the lowest common multiple. In this case it is. And if we have to multiply 7 by 3 in order to make the denominator 21 here, then we've got to do the same to the top as well. We can't do something to the bottom and not do it to the top, or we'll be changing the number. So if we're going to multiply 7 by 3, we've got to multiply 4 by 3, and that's going to give us 12 on top. And likewise over here, if we're going to multiply this 3 by 7 in order to make it 21, then we've got to do the same to the 2. So we multiplied the 4 by the 3 by 3, and since we multiplied the 3 by 7, we've got to multiply the top 2 by 7 as well, which gives us 14. Okay, the reason we're multiplying the same top and bottom is that 7 divided by 7 equals 1. 7 divided by 7 equals 1. So really we're just multiplying this fraction by 1. And we're doing the same over here. We're multiplying the top by 3 and the bottom by 3, and 3 divided by 3 equals 1. So multiplying these things by 1, we're not changing it, but they do look different. And the important thing is that now, because they've got the same denominator, we can add the numbers on top. 12 plus 14 equals 26, and the bottom stays the same. So there we go, 26 over 1. For the next one, if we go 8 times 9, then we get 72. So we're going to have 72 on the bottom of both of these fractions. And in order to get 8 to become 72, we've got to multiply it by 9. In order to get 9 to become 8, we've got to multiply it by, in order to get 9 to become 72, we've got to multiply it by 8. So 8 times 9 is 72, and this has got to be multiplied by 9 as well. 9 times 8 is 72, we've got to multiply this by 8 as well, so that's going to be 40. So that's going to give us 40 plus 9 is 49 over 72. Okay, on to the next one. Lowest common multiple for these two, it's going to be 15. Okay, we could multiply them together and get a common multiple that way, but we should know that 5 goes into 15, so 15 can be the lowest common multiple here, or the lowest common denominator. So we're going to have 15 on the bottom of both fractions. And in order to get 5 to become 15, we've got to multiply it by 3. And in order to get, if we're going to do that to the bottom, we've got to do it to the top as well. So it's got to be 3 over 3. 3 over 3, 3 times 3 equals 9. And for this one, we didn't have to change that, so that remains 6. So 9 plus 6 is 15 over 15, which equals 1. So you can see how these are working. Let's do a couple more. So in this one, 9 and 11, the lowest common multiple is going to be 99. And notice this one's a minus, so we've got to watch out for that at the end. To get 9 to become 99, we multiplied it by 11 over 11. So that's going to be 44 there. And this is going to be 11 times 9, so this is going to be 9 over 9. So that gives us 27. 44 minus 27 equals 17, and it's over 99. Okay, for the next one, 7 and 5, the lowest common multiple is going to be 35, and 35 for the other one as well. Okay, in order to get 7 to become 35, we had to multiply it by 5. So this is going to be 5 over 5, which gives us 15. And in order to get this 5 to become 35, we had to multiply it by 7. So top and bottom multiplied by 7 gives us 14. 15 minus 14 equals 1 over 35. Okay, then we had 1 over 5 minus x over 6. Now don't get thrown by this x here. The important thing is still to have the same number on the bottom of both fractions. So 5 and 6, the lowest common multiple is going to be 30. Just multiplying these together, that's all I'm doing to get the lowest common multiple, unless I can see a smaller one. And then if we've multiplied 5 by 6 in order to make it 30, this has got to be multiplied by 6. And if we multiplied the 6 by 5 to get it to become 30, then we've got to do the same to the x, so it's 5x on top there. Now what do we do with this? Well, the fact that we can't really simplify it much more than this isn't a problem. That's what we'll write up top. 6 minus 5x, it's over 30. Okay, at least that's a little bit better than what we had over here. It's a little bit more meaningful. Down here, we've got 5x over 9 minus 4 over 27. So the lowest common multiple is going to be 27 itself, because 9 goes into 27. If you can't see that, you need to learn your times tables. To get 9 to become 27, we have to multiply it by 3. So we're going to do the same on the top. Multiply that by 3 and we get 15x. To get 27 to become 27, we don't have to do anything. So we won't do anything to the top of this one. We'll leave that as 4. And we've got a minus in between there. So we've got 15x minus 4 on top and 27 on the bottom. We can't simplify that anymore, so we'll leave it as it is. Alright, then we've got 3 over 8 minus 2x over 5. Lowest common multiple is going to be 40 in both cases. So let's get 40 on the bottom there. To get 40, we had to multiply the 8 by 5, so we'll do the same to the top. 5 times 3 is 15. To get 5 to become 40, we had to multiply it by 8, so do the same to the top, and you get 16x. So we've got 15 minus 16x on top, and we've got 40 on the bottom. And finally, we've got a tricky one at the end. We've got 5 over x minus 2 over 3. Now, in order to find a common multiple for these things, we just have to do the same thing that we've done for all the others, which is to multiply them together. So that's going to be 3x is the lowest common multiple of both of these terms. In order to get x to become 3x, we had to multiply it by 3. So that's going to become 15. And in order to get 3 to become 3x, we had to multiply it by x. So let's do the same to the top. Multiply it by x. We get 2x. Okay, then we've got the common multiple on the bottom, so we can just do a simple subtraction of the top. 15 minus 2x over 3x is the answer to that one. Okay, in question 2, we've got more expressions with fractions that we have to either add or subtract, but this time they're a little bit trickier. So let's have a go with them. Alright, in A, we've got 2y over 3 minus y over 4. Again, we've got to get the denominator to be the same, so the lowest common multiple is 12. So let's put 12 on the bottom for each. To get this to be 12, we've got to multiply it by 4, so we're going to do the same to the top. Multiply it by 4 and we get 8y. And then to get 4 to become 12, we've got to multiply it by 3, so we do the same on the top and we get 3y. So now we've got 8y minus 3y, which is 5y, and it's still over 12. Alright, now the order of these is a bit jumbled up because of the way I had to cut and paste them. We'll jump down, we'll try and do them in order. Jump down here to B, and we've got y over 8 minus y over 5. Okay, that's going to be 40 is the lowest common multiple. And to get this to be 40, we've got to multiply it by 5, so we get 5y. This has got to be multiplied by 8, so it's going to be 8y over here. And 5y minus 8y is negative 3y over 40. Okay, jump over here to C, and we've got 4x over 3 minus x over 4. Lowest common multiple is 12. And to get 4x to get 3 to become 12, we've got to multiply it by 4, so we get 16x on this side. This has got to be multiplied by 3, so it's 3x, and then 16x minus 3x is 13x over 12, and we can't simplify that. In D, we've got 9 and 3. Well, 3 is a factor of 9, so 3 will go into 9. So we don't need to multiply these by anything. We don't need to multiply the 9 by anything. We do need to multiply the 3 by something. The lowest common multiple is 9. So that's going to make things a bit easier. To get 9 to become 9, we do nothing. So that stays 8x. To get 3 to become 9, we multiply by 3. So we're going to multiply the top by 3, and we get 6x. So we've got 8x plus 6x is 14x, and it's over 9. Okay, in E, we've got 14 and 28, and 14 is a factor of 28, so we can just use 28 as the lowest common multiple. So both of those, it's going to be 28 on the bottom. 14 we've got to multiply by 2, so we get 4w, and w we've got to multiply, 28 we don't have to do anything to, so we leave the w the same on the top of that one. And we've got 4w minus w is 3w over 28. Alright, in F, 20 is a multiple of 4, so we can use that as the lowest common multiple for both of them. Okay, for this one we don't have to change it, and for this one we've got to multiply by 5, so we get 5y. Y minus 5y is negative 4y over 20, and we can simplify this by dividing both the top and the bottom by 4. They've got a common factor which is 4, so we end up with negative y over 5. Just divided the top by 4 and the bottom by 4. Alright, over here we've got 12y over 5 plus y over 7, common factor 35. And to get 5 to become 35, multiply by 7, so this becomes 7 times 12 is 84y, plus to get 7 to become 35 we've got to multiply it by 5, so this is 5y, so 84y plus 5y is 89y over 35. Okay, for H is the next one. Common multiple is 15, lowest common multiple. So to get that to be 15 we've got to multiply it by 3, so we've got 30x over 15, and we don't have to do anything to this one, it's already over 15, so we've got 32x over 15 is the answer, and we can't simplify that. Then we've got over here x plus 1 over 5 plus x plus 3 over 5. Common multiple, lowest common multiple is going to be 10, so we're going to get 10 on the bottom of both sides. To get 5 to become 10 we've got to multiply it by 2, so that means we've got to multiply everything on the top by 2. So these ones, note that we've got 2 terms on top, they've both got to be multiplied by 2, and that's best expressed by putting it in brackets and putting a 2 at the front. Okay, everything outside the brackets by everything inside the brackets, so 2 times x and 2 times 1 over there, and on this one to get 2 to become 10 we've got to multiply it by 5, so the whole of the top has got to be multiplied by 5. That gives us 5x plus 5 times 3 is 15. So notice how we've got to multiply the whole of the top, both terms, by that factor individually. Okay, that gives us 2x and 5x on top, which is 7x, and also 2 and 15, which is 17. That's on top, and on the bottom we've got 10. Okay, similar kind of problem here. We've got common multiple on the bottom is going to be 12. To get 4 to become 12 we've got to multiply it by 3. So we've got to multiply the whole top by 3, which will give us 3x plus 6. And then on the top of the other one we've got to multiply the 4 by 3. Sorry, we've got to multiply the 3 by 4 to get 12. So we've got to multiply the whole top by 4, which will give us 4x plus 24. Now I'll bring that out here so it's a bit easier to see. 3x and 4x give 7x, and 6 and 24 gives 30, and that's all over 12. Now although the 30 and the 12 have a common factor that we could use to simplify them, that factor is not shared with the 7. So it has to be it would have to be a factor that was shared by all of the terms in order to simplify it. We can't just simplify one term and leave the other one alone. Okay, nearly done now. So down to this one. Lowest common multiple is going to be 30. So we've got 30 on the bottom of both fractions. And to get this to be 30, we've got to multiply it by 6. So the whole of this top gets multiplied by 6, which gives us 12x minus 6. Negative 1 times 6 is negative 6. And then over here, 6 to become 30 requires multiplication by 5. So we've got to multiply the top by 5. And that gives us, don't forget the minus in there, 5 times 2x is 10x. And then 5 times 1 is 5. So let's join these together. 12x minus 10x is 2x. And then negative 6 minus 5 is negative 11, and it's all over 30. So notice how because of this minus in between here, each of these terms is minused from each of the first terms. So this minus doesn't just apply to the 10x, it applies to this whole thing here. It applies to the whole fraction in fact, but really we're concerned with applying it to the top, not just to the first bit. Alright, lastly, common multiple is 6, and there's a plus in between. To get 2 to become 6, got to multiply it by 3, and to get 3 to become 6, we've got to multiply it by 2. So that gives us 9x plus 3 and 10x plus 4, and that's 19x plus 7 over 6. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, in these questions we've got some slightly nastier denominators. Let's have a go at them. Alright, so we've got 2 over 4x plus 1 over 8x in the first question. To get these two denominators to be the same, one way would be to multiply them together. That would give us a common multiple. But there's, it's going to lead to some complications that we don't actually need to face up to, or we don't have to have those complications if we don't want to, as long as we can see that 4x goes into 8x, and that's going to be the same for most of these. You'll see that they have a fairly easy to find common multiple that only requires you to multiply by a number. Okay, to get 4x to become 8x, all you've got to do is multiply it by 2. Okay, so if we've got 8x on the bottom of each of these fractions, if we make that our denominator for both of them, to get 4x to become 8x, you've just got to multiply it by 2. So let's do the same to top and bottom. 2 times 2 is 4. To get 8x to become 8x, you don't have to do anything, so we just leave that one the same. And then I'm going to put the answers down below here because it's a bit hard to fit them in up top. So 4 plus 1 is 5 over 8x. So that one's pretty easy. In this one, 4x and 3x, one won't go into the other as a factor, but they will both go into 12x quite easily. Hopefully you can see that they both go into 12x. Okay, to get 4x to become 12x, you've got to multiply it by 3, so both top and bottom times 3, and we get 9 up top. To get this to become 12x, you've got to multiply it by 4, so that's going to become 4 up the top, and 9 minus 4 is 5 over 12x. In this one, lowest common multiple will be 21x. Okay, because they've both got x in them, really we've only got to find the lowest common multiple of the number. So we just have to find the lowest common multiple of 3 and 7, which is 21, and then put the x next to that, and we've got our lowest common multiple. So they're actually not as hard as you might think or as they might look. To get 21x to become to get 3x to become 21x, we're going to multiply it by 7. So do the same to the top here. That's 35. 7x to become 21x is multiplied by 3. So when we do that, we've got 35 plus 3 is 38 over 21x. Okay, in D, we've got 5x, and let's make sure I put my equals in there so it's all correct. We've got 5x and 15x on the bottom. 5x goes into 15x, so 15x is the lowest common multiple for those two. And to get 5x to become 15x, we just multiply it by 3. Let's do the same to the top, 36. Don't have to do anything to that one. That's just 36 plus 4, which is 40 over 15x. Now, there is a common factor here. 40 and 15 both have 5 as a factor. If we divide them both by 5, we get 8 over 3x. So it becomes a little bit simpler. Alright, in E, we've got 6x and 8x. Lowest common multiple is 48x for both of those. Multiply this by 8, and so that's 8. Multiply this by 6, and so that's 6. And we get 14 over 48x. Now they're both even numbers, so we can divide that top one by 2 and get 7. Divide the bottom one by 2 and get 24x. In F, the lowest common multiple will be 20x. Put that on the bottom, and multiply this by 5, you get 45. Multiply this by 4 and you get 36. So 45 minus 36 equals 9 over 20x. For G, lowest common multiple will be 100x. So we'll have 100x on the bottom of both of them. In order to get that to be 100x, you don't have to do anything, so we'll just leave that as 2. You've got to multiply this by 5, so that's multiplied by 5 as well, and you get 35. 2 plus 35 is 37 over 100x. Can't simplify that. In this one, lowest common multiple will be 10x, so that will stay the same, 1 over 10x, but this has to be multiplied by 10 on top and bottom, so that becomes 51 over 10x. And lastly, that's a 2x hiding under there, so lowest common multiple will be 6x for both of them, and this is multiplied by 2, this is multiplied by 3, so we've got negative 1 over 6x. That's our answer. Okay, let's finish off with the last question. Okay, in these questions, the last question, which is question 4, there's no way to get the same denominator except by cross multiplication. We've got to multiply this side by that and this side by that. And since we're going to multiply this side, this bit on the bottom here by this over here, we've got to do the same to the top so that we're multiplying it by 1. And when we multiply this bit here by that, we're going to do the same to the top over here, multiply it by that, so that we're multiplying it by 1 again. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. For the first one, we're going to have x plus 4 on the bottom multiplied by x minus 2. So straight away we'll just jump to having one single fraction, x plus 4 times x minus 2, because I don't want to write that out twice. And then on top, we're going to have 2 times x minus 2. So 2x minus 2, and then plus 3x times x plus 4. Whoop, that's supposed to be just x plus 4. Okay, so hopefully you see what we did there. We just cross multiplied the bottom, and I've sort of jumped ahead of, this is the first fraction here, and this is the second one here, the top of the second fraction and the top of the first fraction here. And in both cases I've just multiplied the top by what was on the bottom of the other side. Okay, now when we simplify that, we will get this. The first part will become 2x minus 4. 2 times x gives 2x, 2 times negative 2 gives minus 4, and then we'll plus 3x times x is 3x squared, and 3x times 4 is 12x, so plus 12x. And we've got to make sure that we're adding all of this, because we're plussing the whole other side, whatever it is. Sometimes it'll be negative numbers here, and we'll be adding negative numbers. Okay, and that's all divided by x plus 4 times x minus 2. Okay, and we can simplify this a little bit. 2x plus 12x will give us, so put the 3x squared bit first. 2x plus 12x gives 14x, and we've got minus 4 here, so we'll put that there as well. And so that will be all over x plus 4, x minus 2. So it's a bit of a process, but you can see how to get there. Okay, the next one. Got to multiply both sides by that, so on the bottom we're going to have x plus 5 in brackets and x minus 1 in brackets, and then we're going to multiply the top of each side by the bottom of the other side. So 2x times x minus 1 here, and then it's a plus in between, so plus, and we'll put all this in brackets, 5x plus 5. 5 bracket x plus 5. We're multiplying 5 by all of that. Okay, now when we simplify that, let's do it up here so we'll save a little bit of room down the bottom. So this will become 2x squared, and 2x times negative 1 is 2, and then we'll be adding, we'll leave it in brackets for the moment, 5x, 5 times x, plus 5 times 25, so 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, and then we've got a like term here, negative 2, rather that should be negative 2x because it was 2x times negative 1. So the like term is negative 2x and 5x, and that's going to become 3x, which we'll put down here. So down here we've got 2x squared, we've got negative 2x plus 5x, which is 3x, and we've got plus 25, and this is all over x plus 5 in brackets, x minus 1 in brackets. Alright, and the next one, again multiplying the bottoms by each other, and then the top by the bottom of the other side, and the top by the bottom of the other side. So that gives us 2x plus 1 in one bracket and x minus 2 in the other, and then on top we've got 5x minus 2 plus, we'll put this second part in brackets, plus x 2x plus 1, and close the bracket there, which we forgot to do over here. So when we expand that out on top, we will get this. We will get 5x minus 10 plus 2x squared, x times 2x is 2x squared, plus 1 times x is x, that's what's on the top, and on the bottom we'll have 2x plus 1 and x minus 2. Okay, and simplifying the top, we've got 5x plus x, so that gives us 6x, and we've got a plus 2x squared, which I should have put at the start, but it's not really that important, and minus 10 at the end. Ideally you'd put the highest power first and then the second highest power next, and then any constants would go at the end, but that's not life or death. 2x plus 1 and x minus 2 on the bottom. Okay, we'll make this the last one because we're running out of room, and I think we're starting to get the hang of it, so hopefully after this you'll be able to do the rest on your own. Multiplying both sides by each other, we get x plus 1 and 2x minus 7 on the bottom. Then on the top we've got 2x in the first part multiplied by this bit on the bottom, which is 2x minus 7. And then notice we've got a minus in between here, so that's going to be important. Minus there, and then we'll open a bracket up, and we'll put 3 and bracket x plus 1 in there. Now, just so you can see what's going to happen ahead of time, this minus is going to get applied to all of this here. So although it looks positive at the moment, because of this minus, all of it is going to be deducted from the first part. Alright, now let's expand that out down here. 2x times 2x is 4x squared, and then 2x times negative 7 is 14x, negative 14x, and then all of the rest is going to be minused, and it's 3x plus 3. Okay, so although they look positive, they're actually going to be minused, and that's all over x plus 1 and 2x, 2x minus 7. Alright, now 4x squared, that won't change, but the negative 14x has minus 3x. Negative 14x minus 3x, which gives us negative 17x, and there's no other constants, but it's minus 3, even though that's a plus, it's minus plus 3, which is minus 3 on the top, and on the bottom is the same again, 2x minus 7. Okay, so there we go. Hopefully that gives you an idea of how to do these kinds of problems, and you're able to have a go at the rest on your own. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you found it helpful.